And the biggest name on the trade market might not be on the market at all. Giannis Antetokounmpo, in an interview in Brazil, reportedly said about the finals, quote, "I hope to be back soon with the Bucks." You put that together with Wendy yesterday on this show saying this about Giannis's future.
Right now, there is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade market. There is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade discussions. He has not asked for it. The Bucks are not looking to trade him.
All right, so that feels more important to me than anything else. Because, Jay, you made a very good point earlier this morning. Here you have a man whose primary language is Greek. He is traveling in Brazil, so he's doing an interview with someone whose primary language is most likely Portuguese. It's now being translated into English, and we're taking it as, oh, Giannis isn't going anywhere. That's probably an overreaction. We'll have to wait and see.
Giannis isn't going to come out and say, I want a trade. I don't want to be here. He is a loyalist. And I would say this to people. Historically, people of his caliber do not get traded to the summer. It's a quiet trade market. Doesn't have to be loud for everybody. I know everybody has done it different ways. Doesn't mean that he can't stay. But historically, once again, people of his magnitude have not been traded until this summer, Greeny.
That's true. And the summer is pretty close upon us, right? I mean, there's 2 teams left playing. The draft is the end of this month. So we're getting pretty close to the summer. I mean, the free agency starts that first crazy week and all that madness. Are you telling me
July
think
is that time?
this happens after that?
July summer.
The very beginning of July. Well, I mean, it's June 11th. This isn't that far away.
The Cat and the Julius Randle trade was 3 days before training camp.
Right.
So
you don't normally want to do that.
I get it, but I get Jay's point.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say all this stuff right now is all tentative. I'm going to say all this stuff is for now. There's nothing happening right now. It's things, I think this is one of those fluid situations because I always believe where there's smoke, there's fire. And this thing has had enough smoke where he's, even a month ago, you had Shams telling us that he's considering now for the first time.
By the way, open to him is like saying, that's pretty much saying what Kevin Durant or LeBron James said, just in the Giannis way.
Yeah, it's the big step. So that's why I feel like the smoke is still there. Now you just are kind of waiting it out to see a process that comes up. I believe he's got a couple of places that are appealing to him versus leaving. I don't think it's like whoever will take me. I don't think it's like Dame Lillard finally reached the point where it's like wherever. He ends up in Milwaukee. I don't know if that's exactly where he wanted to go, but that's where he ended up. I don't think Giannis wants that. I don't think he wants to go in all these different places that we kind of like to put him in playing fantasy basketball. This is, if I can get to point A, point B, great. If not, I'll stay here.
Point A, point B, the vehicle is in a better position to win championships. And frankly, I don't see, as we've pontificated, I don't see a position that offers much more than what he has in Milwaukee. Let's be clear.
They don't have much in Milwaukee anymore.
But what I'm saying is it's not like Milwaukee has fumbled. They've had very unfortunate injuries over the span of him being at his best in terms of being productive.
Have not built well.
Like the only place, I don't know, pie in the sky is probably like Golden State. But to me, New York, Miami, it's going to look a lot like Milwaukee in a different city.
One of the few places he did vacation after the season. But I just would say that, look, I know we always talk about championships. You're talking about a global icon right now. Let's not overlook things like he wants for his family and his kids. There's a lot of those things that factor into it as well. And having the right upper management brass in place to ensure that he will have a chance to win championships down the line.
What are you hinting at? I mean,
I'm not hinting at anything. I'm just talking about all the factors that go into a decision like this. I've been around multiple guys now when they made free agency decisions. It's just not about winning championships right now. It's about what does the total pie look like.
He's going to be 31 in December, right? So this is also, to me, there's an urgency to getting to a place where it's better for him and all the things you're talking about, off the court, on the court, everything, but also going to a place where it's not going to be, all right, now I got to wait and build something because we just blew up the roster to get him. That's why there feels like this is a right now thing, and if it doesn't happen, right now, if it doesn't happen, to me, it gets less and less likely that he'll end up leaving.
I mean, Giannis's numbers in the last couple of years, because the team hasn't been that relevant, have been obscured. I mean, there's only one player in NBA history to average 30 points in a game, and shoot 60% from the floor in a season. It's Giannis. He's done it twice, and it's each of the last 2 years. So you're talking about a guy, when we talk about who's the best player in basketball, is it Shea? Is it Jokic? Giannis is right with either or both of them. He's in his prime, and his team is, at this point, bordering on irrelevant.
Geez, Green, that's painful to say, but yeah.
It's
Well,
true.
Dave Lillard just
You're
tore his
It's true.
Achilles. What else can you say?
It's a real thing. He's, 7 years now? He's a finalist for the MVP or top 4 for MVP?
Yeah.
7 years. I mean, that's a dominant run that he has had, and you don't want that. You don't want one of the best players in the league to be on a team that doesn't factor right now. And next year, you can't look at the Bucks and say, the East is weak. They might be a team that can make the playoffs. Well, I mean, you can't really believe
All right, let me leave that there a minute. Breaking news just in from our Shams Charania. The New York Knicks requested permission this morning to speak to Mavericks coach Jason Kidd, and Dallas gave them a firm rejection. So to summarize, and it's all in Shams' tweet, the Knicks have now been denied on Jason Kidd, on Minnesota's Chris Finch, and on Houston's Ime Udoka. So we've got Alan and Monica with us here, and you both know the inner workings of the Knicks as well as anyone can, being with them sort of on a day-to-day basis and all of that. The reality of the situation and the perception might very well be two completely different things. The perception is going to be the Knicks are striking out. Oh, my goodness, they shouldn't have fired their coach. It was premature because they're not going to be able to get the people that they really wanted, and whoever they wind up with is going to be their 4th or their 5th choice. That probably isn't the reality of the situation. What can we say about where they stand right now?
On the surface, it does look like 3 strikes, you're out. But we all know that denials, there's always ways to go about it. And sometimes it's maybe the coaches that have to say, I'm not really happy here. And then the teams have to reconsider. But that's all right now. What you do is you target the top choices. Who do you want? I've always said this. You're in a big market, you swing. I want to get the best I can. So I identify these guys as the best I can. They are working for other teams, but I want to see if they want to come work for me. That's not there right now. Options are, of course, also coaches that aren't working for other teams. It's a lot easier to do that. You just go right to their agents. Michael Malone is not working for anybody right now. Mike Brown is not working for anybody right now. There are coaches of the year that are out there. Mike Budenholzer, experienced coaches of the year that are also still out there. But I'm still feeling like denials right now don't mean it's completely over.
Yeah, I would add Taylor Jenkins to that list of coaches that are available. And I got to give Jay Wilson credit. I think tossing in some names that we have not heard, and whether that Rajon Rondo, who obviously has a ton of respect from all of us that have loved basketball for a long time and watched him win at a high level. I just think this is all still part of the process. To me, Greeny, the part that you hold on to if you're a Knicks fan is that, to me, this is still a very desirable job. You've got a talented roster. You're in a big city. The team is playing the best ball that is played in literally 2 decades. And you've got an amicable, well, maybe that's not the right word, but an easy superstar in terms of Jalen Brunson being a guy that wants to work well with both his coach and his teammates.
This, by the way, is one of our new spots here in the new, our first time using it. I just caught a glimpse. I kind of like the way it looks. It's pretty good.
We're on the ledge right now.
Yeah, we're on the ledge. Don't jump, Knicks fans. Everything is okay. Okay, so here's the question that came up the other day.
Okay.
If you're Jason Kidd, let's assume it's not over with Jason Kidd, because that was the first name that we sort of heard out there. If you're Jason Kidd, and the only consideration you have is which team has a better chance to win the championship next year. I don't know Jason. For all I know, that isn't even top 3 on his list of considerations. He's looking longer term, whatever. But if the question is who's got a better chance to win the title next year, the Dallas Mavericks or the New York Knicks, what's the answer?
The Knicks.
The Knicks.
The East is the easier path.
I agree. Everyone yelled at me the other day.
Who yelled at you?
Two?
Who's yelling at
whoever
Greeny?
was here the first, I got yelled at. The Morris twins, I think it was, and they're so big.
Don't get yelled at by them.
Never mind. We're good.
I understand their logic. I do understand their logic.
Get out of the West. If you're J. Kidd, get out of the West.
Kyrie will not be available until later in the season.
Right. And Anthony Davis is frequently
We know that happens.
And as good as Cooper Flag is projected to be, you're still talking about a rookie.
Yeah.
And in the East, with Jason Tatum figuring to miss most, if not all, of next year, I can't imagine a conference being more wide open. This is not about whether if the Knicks played the Mavericks in a 7-game series, who would win. This is about who's got a chance to go deeper into next year's playoffs right now. It seems to me anyone in the East has a better chance.
Yeah, you would think that, and that's why I would say, and Monica, this isn't about like a New York bias or any of that stuff. It's just looking at it logically. When you look at the East and the landscape of the East, it is very top-heavy. And the good news is the Knicks are one of those teams at the top.
I mean, seriously, if you just look at the East right now, give the Pacers their respect. So let's say that they'll be back. But do you buy Cleveland after the way they were dismantled this year? Detroit certainly is right there. Orlando is a team that's competing. But in terms of the opportunity to compete through an East where you have had success, you still have arguably one of the better starting fives in the Eastern Conference, I would definitely say the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, look at the teams you just named. They're all good.
Yeah.
They're all on the come. I'm not saying there aren't any good teams in the Eastern Conference, but is there a great one? Is there a team that you look at, like Oklahoma City, that it just looks like they're unstoppable?
Right. A team
and
like
some
that,
of the other teams
well,
on
the Lakers
come?
having Luka and LeBron, and they're all going for it. Like just the West has been traditionally the harder place to go. And I would say this: I would be careful with a lot of stuff that you might be seeing out there. These three guys, you don't request these three guys specifically without having some inkling of an idea that they would be interested in the job. And Jason Kidd, a year ago in May, he just signed a contract extension.
Right.
It's a great job getting them to the finals. They gave him an extension. So for the Mavs, it's like, like they already identified him as their guy, but there is interest in this job. This is a desirable job for all the reasons why Monica said.
NBA